It is imperative that all senators are fully aware and informed of their roles, their powers, their functions, in order to effectively represent the interests of the counties and to defend the devolved governance structure as contemplated in Chapter 11 of our Constitution. We will also find opportunity to speak to the standing orders, which are the rules that guide the proceedings of the Senate. A good understanding of the standing orders provides opportunity for senators to be more effective in the discharge of their mandate. There have been many senators who mastered the standing orders, and we are very glad that some of them, including Senator Boni Khalwale, are back here. So if you do not master your standing orders, you may find yourself being outwitted at an inopportune time by those that will have done so. We will be speaking to the linkages between the Senate and other constitutional offices and constitutional commissions and independent offices. And this will also provide the Senate with the opportunity to continue to strengthen our working relationships with constitutional commissions and independent offices, which are all integral in the success of devolution. During this event, we will have deliberations which will be with a view to enhancing our relations with other intergovernmental institutions. We will have a discussion on the role of the Senate with regard to the budget process and other financial processes. As we are aware, Article 96(3) of the Constitution provides that the Senate determines the allocation of national revenue among counties and shall exercise oversight over national revenue allocated to the county governments. Also at Article 217 of the Constitution, provision is made for the procedure of determining the basis for allocating among counties the share of national revenue that is annually allocated to the county level of government. An understanding of these functions of the Senate and the history of the Senate in defending its role as provided for in Article 96(3) of the Constitution will enable senators to appreciate the strides that were made by the Second and the Third Senate in positioning the Senate as a defender of devolved government. It will also enable senators to appreciate the challenges and opportunities in division of revenue. We will have conversations on the Senate leadership and the role of that leadership in driving the legislative agenda. Immediately the Senate commences its sittings after the state opening. The very first agenda will be to constitute the Senate, to fully constitute the Senate leadership, which is tasked with guiding and navigating the Senate agenda. That leadership is composed of the majority and minority leaders and their deputies, and the majority and minority whips and their deputies, who together with the Senate Business Committee, under the stewardship of the Right Honorable Speaker, the chairpersons and vice chairpersons of various committees, participate in what is a well-choreographed dance of running the business of the House, even if they should maintain their political affiliations. They nevertheless remain steadfast in their allegiance to the Constitution and in driving the Senate agenda. We will also be speaking about legislation and how legislation passes between the two houses, the challenges, some of the challenges that have been faced in this, and how we intend to surmount those challenges going forward. We will be having discussions about the Parliamentary Service Commission and its role in providing services and facilities to enable the proper functioning of Parliament. To this end, we will have with us members of the Parliamentary Service Commission who will take us through the role of this commission. Honorable Senators, I am confident that this Senate has what it takes to consolidate the gains that have been made by previous Senates, to fine-tune existing gray areas, and to ultimately achieve the objects of devolution as envisaged in our Constitution. As I have pointed out at the start, this is the first retreat, induction retreat, but it's certainly not the last. And going forward, the Secretariat, which I head, will facilitate more induction workshops geared towards legislative agenda and committee matters and the core business of the House. We will also have targeted inductions for specific groups among the senators. We will have inductions for women senators. We will have inductions for youth senators. We will have inductions for senators with disability, as well as youth. I think I mentioned that already. So this is the first in a series of inductions, and we hope that at the end we will enable you to we will better capacitate you to discharge your functions. We also want to thank our development partners who have provided in-kind support for this induction retreat. We would like to acknowledge support from Uzalendo specifically for their support in printing programs and orientation manuals, which we are sharing with you today. We'd also like to acknowledge the support for consultants on the program that we have received from the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, a long-term partner of the Senate, Transparency International, and the World Bank. We are also grateful that some of the partners mentioned, as well as others such as USAID and the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, will join us on Friday to discuss the impact of the support that they have provided to devolution over the years and how they envision future collaborative engagement with the Senate in strengthening devolution. I will be asking that senators pay particular attention to this very important session. We wish that all our long-term cooperation with the development partners is going to continue into the future, and whenever possible, we shall call upon the officers of the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and the entire leadership for support. It is our sincere hope as a Secretariat that all the expectations of senators present here will be met as we forge our way forward in protecting the interests of the counties and their governments. Second chambers all over the world have certain advantages, and our Senate is no exception, and we hope that we can build on these advantages. The second chambers are invariably smaller, and therefore they lend themselves to greater camaraderie among their membership. I observed during introductions that senators were still sitting along, broadly along party lines, but this is going to change in due course, I hope even before the end of this workshop. The second chambers tend to be more bipartisan, and they provide more opportunity for deliberation, more opportunity for reflection. Last evening, I met some senators as they're having dinner, and some of them said to me that their best experience in the Senate so far was a bus ride from Nairobi, and the opportunity to engage with other senators, because the way we arranged the bus ride was, it's not along party lines. It is as you came. So you had the opportunity to sit in a 2-hour ride or 1.5-hour ride with a senator for possibly the other side of the political divide. And there began your ice breaking, there began your rapport. And we are hoping that at this event, we are going to build and consolidate that so that we make this house a stronger house. We have enduring friendships that make your work as legislators easier and better. You, whatever else you may be as politicians, you are human beings, and we recognize as Secretariat that your jobs are difficult, they are lonely, everybody wants something from you, and we hope that the Senate can be the place that provides solace to you. We hope that the Senate can be your happy space, and it is our job as a Secretariat to make that happen. But it's our job, all of us, the Secretariat and yourselves, to make the Senate what it was designed by the Constitution, by our people, by the sovereign to be. Let us all make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Honorable Senators, please join me to now welcome the host senator, Senator for Nakuru, Senator Tabitha Karanja. Karibu.
The Speaker, the Majority Leader, the Chief Whip, the clerks, honorable members of the Senate, staff of Parliament, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to this induction session, members of the 14th Parliament. Let me 13 Parliament, sorry. Let me not forget to thank God for the wonderful day as I congratulate you all on your election. I'm also humbled by my appointment as the Deputy Majority Leader, Senate, and thankful to my party leader, His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto, for having faith in me. As we all are aware, we are here for this induction session to involve seeing us through the operations and procedures of the house that is geared towards equipping us with tools to effectively execute our mandate. The induction session should also enable us understand our role vis-a-vis that of the executive and the judiciary, as well as strategize on best the issues faced by our people, especially those that were occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. We expect also to get a true picture of the country's economic situation and the role we can play to address this. As a true representative of the people, as exposed in Article 1 of the Constitution, we expect to leave this forum with the best know-how on how the three functions of Parliament, that is, administration, oversight, representation. In addition, since we are at the forefront, Mwananchi at the grassroots requires the necessary information and the support from all of the sectors. Nakuru is a county of unlimited opportunities. It is the second largest in terms of contribution to the national GDP, compared to the 47 as per reports of the KNBS, the leader in agriculture, a tourism destination with Nakuru and Naivasha reading. Nakuru is the latest city and the fourth in the county, a city that has a national park, lake, and the Menengai volcano, all inclusive. Enjoy every minute that you are here. And I welcome you all to visit a site, because we are known to have many tourist sites, especially here around Naivasha, before you go back to Nakuru, to your counties. It is important to mention that we have 3 large national parks that include Hell's Gate and Mount Longonot, which are key tourist attractions. Nakuru hosts of 6 lakes: Lake Naivasha, a resort town of Kenya, rich in fresh water, wildlife, sports, tourism, among others. Others include Ementaita, Solai, Creator Lake, and Oldeni. Nakuru is the geothermal county of Kenya. Approximately 45% of the national grid is fed from this clean energy. This adds to our attractions in Okalia, Menengai. And also, Naivasha, we know it holds the second largest brewery in this country. It uses the latest technology in brewing. So I welcome you also. Before you leave Naivasha, this induction, kindly visit, because you'll see what you only imagine. You see it in Europe and the other part of the world. So you are most welcome. Me having, me as an industrialist, I know, I worked there. I give you the best experience that you can have in a visit in a brewery. Thank you. Finally, is to wish you all the best and to pray for the third Senate and fourth Parliament sessions as we embark on the duty. Thank you so much. Your host, Tabitha Karanja Kiroche, and you're most welcome to this induction. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. I'm sure the senators have taken note of the invite, and I see they're all happy. Thank you very much. We will have given this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to also the host governor. I'm told she'll be here in a few minutes, but nevertheless, we will have to continue with the program. Honorable Senators, please join me to now welcome the Honorable Deputy Speaker of the Senate, Senator Kaduri Murungi. Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Initially I was wondering the name of the brewery until you mentioned your name, Tabitha Keroche, for those who didn't know the name of the brewery. Allow me, Honorable Senators, to first congratulate you for your election as Honorable Senators of the 4th Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker of the Senate, Right Honorable Amason Jeffa Kingi, Honorable Senator Tabitha Keroche Karanja, the host Senator, Honorable Senators, Clerk of the Senate, Mr. Jeremiah Gegenye, distinguished resource persons around, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It gives me great pleasure to see you all gathered here again after inauguration on Tuesday the 13th, the memorable Tuesday, 13th September 2022. May I once again express my gratitude for the honor and the trust you bestowed on me to serve in the office of the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, and look forward to serving you diligently as we embark on our legislative and leadership laws in the 4th Senate and 13th Parliament. Let me also take the opportunity to know, so that you can know me better as your Deputy Speaker. Prior to joining the Senate, I've been privileged to serve the people of Kenya for 2 terms in the National Assembly as Member of Parliament for South Imenti constituency in Meru County. And during my stint as a registrator in the last decade, I've gained invaluable experience in the workings of various committees, as well as serving as chairperson of the Special Funds Account Committee during the last Parliament. I have therefore the benefit of attending previous induction programs organized by Parliament. They constitute important learning activities. And to be honest, I feel very happy indeed, honorable senators, because for 2 decades, I was in a house with 349 members. And you can imagine if they are in one room, 349. So I'm happy because the Senate has a very manageable number. And I'm really enjoying the services because I see, Honorable Speaker, it's almost a personal right service. So I'm happy to be in the upper house, Senator Mazayo. This is the upper house, I confirm. Now I know, yes. And if there is anything I mentioned about the Senate negatively, I take this privilege and opportunity to withdraw and apologize. Okay, despite having the benefit of past experience as a registrator, I am currently on a new journey with a twin and broader mandate as the Senator for the great people of Meru County and Deputy Speaker of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. I intend to approach these onerous responsibilities with humility and commitment as a first-time Senator, and acknowledge there is a lot to learn with respect to the mandate of the Senate, particularly in offering leadership, support, and championing the effective implementation of devolution. Devolution is one of the most transformative concepts of development, which has brought remarkable changes to Kenya's governance landscape under the Constitution of Kenya 2010. The role of the Senate as the protector of devolution and the defender of counties and their governments is central in advancing Kenya's prosperity and development. Honorable Senators, distinguished guests, having served in the other house, I'm aware of the sibling rivalry between the houses and the fight for appropriate constitutional space by the Senate with respect to concurrence of bills and the revenue allocation. I'll salute senators who served in the 11th and the 12th parliaments for being for their garant efforts. I commit to work closely with the Right Honorable Speaker of the Senate, Right Honorable Amason Jeff Kingi, and the incoming Senate leadership to ensure leadership to further strengthen the institution and devolution, particularly through enhancing oversight and accountability over resources allocated to counties. I encourage the newly elected senators to take time to learn and reflect during this retreat, as this foundational engagement will provide the senators with the necessary understanding of the basics in regard to legislative processes, and advancing devolution, and in turn, enhance the quality of debate in the House. And I promise that when I will be in the chair, the new members last week, really requested that they should be given more time to speak. So the veterans, you'll be getting less time, and the new members will be getting more time to speak to bills and the debates in the Senate, so that we can mentor them and nurture them as well. Honorable Senators, in order to execute this immense constitutional responsibility, the office of the Senator should be well capacitated in terms of requisite human and technical resources and expertise. As we observed during the initial orientation, the Parliamentary Service Commission has ensured that the Senate has qualified professional team of qualified and competent staff led by the clerk of the Senate. This team will undoubtedly be complementary to the rich and diverse professional experience that each member brings to the Senate. In conclusion, I wish to commend the clerk of the Senate and the entire Secretariat for a well-organized and relevant program which will bring together key state and non-state actors in the devolution arena, including the judiciary, the executive, constitutional commissions, and independent offices. Governors in the room, development partners, and distinguished former senators and experts, as well as the media. It is my hope that this induction will set the pace for senators to understand their laws and responsibilities inspire us to take up our legislative and leadership mantles and strengthen devolution for better service delivery to the people of Kenya. I look forward to learning and sharing experiences with you. I wish you fruitful deliberations. It is honorable senators, you know I've never deputized any leader like Amason King before. I'm being number one always. But now I want to start running the ropes of now inviting my speaker. It is now my honor and pleasant duty to welcome the Speaker of the Senate to deliver his remarks and officially open this retreat. Honorable members, when the Speaker is upstanding, everybody in the room should be upstanding, even before him. Honorable Senator Sosi, I can see you are starting to be out of order the first day. So, karibu sana, Bwana Speaker. Asante sana.
Members, we can be seated. Sorry for that. The Deputy Speaker, Senator Kathuri Murungi, the host Senator, Senator Tabitha Karanja, governors present, honorable senators, distinguished development partners, resource persons, the clerk and the staff of the Senate, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Indeed, it is a great pleasure for me to be part of this distinguished gathering to address you and officially open the 4th Senate Induction Retreat as your speaker. This event marks our very first activity in capacity development programs for honorable senators. May I therefore take this opportunity to congratulate you once again for your successful election and inauguration to the 4th Senate and the 13th Parliament of the Republic of Kenya. Honorable senators, I welcome you all to this very important induction retreat, whose theme is understanding the mandate of the Senate, strengthening devolution through legislative effectiveness. The main purpose of this workshop is to equip and empower honorable senators with knowledge and vital information that are essential in discharging their mandates and functions in the Senate and its committees. It will further enable senators to understand the workings and the key legislative processes within the bicameral setup of our Parliament, the mandate of the Parliamentary Service Commission, amenities and entitlements available to honorable senators, the Senate's role in advancing intergovernmental relations, and earlier how it relates with other constitutional commissions and independent officers, as well as non-state actors in the devolution space. During the induction period, honorable senators will also benefit from special sessions on Kenya's foreign policy and national security, including media relations and public awareness. It is hoped that after the deliberations and reflections, members will be able to generate valuable ideas that will constitute the agenda of the Fourth Senate that will henceforth guide debate and operations of the Senate. It is worth mentioning that more targeted training and capacity development activities will be mounted to deepen senators' knowledge and skills in discharging various House committees and leadership roles. It is my expectation that honorable senators will have an opportunity to fully engage with our distinguished and experienced resource persons, bond as brothers and sisters, ask pertinent questions, openly discuss and share necessary useful information and on parliamentary work processes. Members will greatly benefit from first-hand information, from presentations on the accessibility and management of Senate facilities, as well as the various services available to senators, a key expectations in and out of the House effectively. Your Excellency, Madam Governor of the host county, karibu sana. Honorable Senators, it is usually said that things just don't go wrong. They start wrong. I would like to urge and implore upon honorable senators to accord the induction programs presented to us during the next 4 to 5 days, reserved for its coverage and due attention and significance it deserves. Having keenly perused the program, the various thematic areas and diverse topics to be discussed, and noting the high caliber resource persons identified, I'm confident that we will have constructive, enriching, and vibrant deliberations that will guarantee us a real value for our time. In program we will be undertaking here, honorable members will subsequently be taken through Senate standing orders, which constitute the basic rules and regulations of operation of the Senate. The standing orders are key operational tools and means for effective and effecting orderly business of the House in the fulfillment of our principal constitutional mandate, which include legislation and, by extension, the key roles of oversight and representation of counties. It is imperative, honorable senators, that we discharge our legislative mandate and other fundamental leadership roles. We have to be alive to the reality that our contribution will only acquire due significance if the Senate adopts a strategic and responsive viewpoint of its placing in the polity of the Republic. Honorable senators, the people of Kenya have for a long time been treated to interesting legislative and executive power plays whose outcomes have left the masses with more questions than clear answers on what constitutes the role of legislators in advancing equitable and unbiased development in our country. Kenyans had almost become tired of the casual conduct of governance business. The coming into being of a second chamber, therefore, had become necessary to ensure principled moderation in the conduct of matters of state and governance in Kenya. The reintroduction of the institution of the Senate has, to a great extent, been an attempt to meet this need. During a 5-year tenure, this concern should be ingrained in our thoughts, work, and operations. We have the Harlequin task of consolidating the institutional gains made over the last decade. Honorable Senators, this retreat also aims to assist us get acquainted with the integrated role and mandate of the Senate and of evolving governance architecture, including the linkages with other constitutional commissions and independent bodies. This will involve, among others, discussions on the mandate and functions of the Senate and the linkages between the Senate and the counties, Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and the Commission on Revenue Allocation, and the import of the independence of the Senate in effectively discharging its duties. Honorable Senators, I have no doubt that all of you are eager to embark on this important exercise, given the stature and onerous responsibilities accorded to senators. As you are aware, apart from your primary mandate of representing the counties and protecting their interests, the other key role of the Senate is to debate and discuss other matters of critical national importance. We are by no means restricted in dealing with issues that are of great public interest and must always adopt a more liberal approach to matters that affect the citizenry. Honorable Senators, the Parliamentary Service Commission was established in the year 2000 for purposes of enhancing the capacity of the Parliament in terms of offering quality services to ensure effective and efficient functioning of Parliament, exercising budget control, appointing and supervising office holders, and ensuring the well-being and welfare of members and staff of Parliament. Indeed, the implementation of its successive strategic plans has entailed the restructuring of its administration various sections and services in Parliament with a view to improving and expanding its service delivery to members and staff. I'm pleased to inform you that presently, the Parliamentary Service Commission has a significant number of professionals drawn from various areas of specialization, competencies, and disciplines to facilitate you to effectively discharge your roles as senators. They include economists, research, physical and budget analysts, legal counsel, human resource management officers, communication specialists, and ICT experts, just to mention but a few. This multidisciplinary team within the Parliamentary Service Commission has the singular duty of facilitating you to effectively discharge your roles as senators. They are trained to offer the best technical support in the discharge of your senatorial agenda. I encourage you as senators to engage with them and to tap into their rich and valuable reservoir of technical skills and experiences by sharing ideas and information which are critical for the development and democratization of our nation. As your Speaker, I'm fully aware that the oversight role upon you by the Constitution requires you to closely monitor, supervise, and legislate on all aspects of devolution in the 47 counties, either collectively or individually. This is a weighty constitutional mandate that comes with huge expectations and requires that you be accorded the necessary financial support and material facilitation in order to successfully execute the onerous task that also entails traversing your counties to regularly evaluate the impact of devolution and identify areas that may require legislative intervention. To this extent, I undertake to robustly and as a matter of urgency engage all the relevant stakeholders, including government agencies concerned, with a view to putting in place a system that ensure honorable senators are sufficiently facilitated in order for you to discharge your oversight responsibilities successfully as spelled out in the Constitution. As I conclude, I wish to echo the words of the former President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, which I shared with you in my acceptance speech on the 13th of September 2020, following my election as Speaker. I quote, "Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. We are duty-bound to make time to learn and continually develop our capacities if we have to be effective in executing our legislative and leadership roles. As legislators, initiating legislation that are devolution compliant remains our top priority. Let us utilize our unique professional backgrounds, networks, leadership positions, and the Senate floor to address matters affecting our people and our nation. Parliament is and will remain a pivotal role player in the constitutional implementation process. Ultimately, our work and performance will always take cognizance and be guided by the enormity and significance of Parliament's central position in our country's development. As members of the Fourth Senate, we have to chart our legacy and destiny. Our primary duty and responsibility shall always be to build confidence and trust among ourselves and among the people of Kenya. To achieve this, we have to continually develop our capacity and nurture a sense of senatorial culture and patriotism. Having a majority of you here today is a demonstration of your genuine desire and enthusiasm to equip yourself with the requisite knowledge that will enable you to shepherd Kenya's governance as it continues to transform from a centralized model to a devolved one. More fundamentally, we have the cardinal duty to shape and positively build our gains already made by our predecessors in the last decade to positively influence and improve operations and effective functioning of the Senate during our tenure. It is now my honor and pleasure to declare this induction retreat for the senators of the Fourth Senate and the 13th Parliament officially open and to wish you fulfillment and success during your tenure of duty. Asanteni sana, may God bless the Senate and may God bless our beloved country, Kenya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Round of applause for the Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for officially opening this workshop and for your wise words. Honorable Senators, we have come to the end of the official program now for the open session. I wish to, yes, I'm coming to it, thank you. I wish to take this opportunity to recognize the Governor of Nakuru County. Now that the convener has spoken and officially opened, we will give the Governor an opportunity to address the Senators in the next session after we come back from tea break. May I then, Honorable Speaker, also recognize the presence of other Senators who have arrived after the introduction. Senator Mandago, you can please wave. Senator Kajwang, and Senator Thangwa. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, with your permission, then we will break for group photo and health break for 20 minutes. We will be having the official photo next to the registration desk. My colleagues and the various protocol officers are available to show you the various facilities of the hotel that you may need. And we will exit from this gate and first go to the photo session and thereafter tea break with the permission of the Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, then we can adjourn. Sure. The Speaker has given us the authority and the permission to adjourn. We adjourn for 20 minutes. Thank you very much. No, we can't adjourn without the Speaker. Speaker says no.